Well, Clearwater, if you don't know about wildlife rehab, Clearwater is a facility that we were first licensed to rehabilitate mammals, and that's the first thing. It starts with the state. And then we started working with birds, and we now get about 3,500 to 5,000 animals a year, about 10,000 information calls that come through Clearwater. It's primarily an all-volunteer charity and has been for 25 years. As I said, we have about 50 volunteers who make it work, and with that many animals, it's helpful to have a very large cadre of people that are willing, like yourselves. What we learned through wildlife rehab was a lot of the animals that we would get really should have been left in the wild. People will see a hopping baby bird and think, oh my goodness, I have to rescue it. But what happens is they've actually interfered with the natural process. The baby bird needs to fall to the ground, and then it learns to fly up, and while on the ground, the mother is still going to feed it. So when we pick it up and take it away, we're interfering with the natural cycle. Or fawn out in the woods all by itself, seemingly. Someone thinks they're being a good Samaritan, they'll pick it up, bring it in, and ask us to care for it. Meanwhile, it's been separated from the mother, who is probably very close in the thicket, watching as its baby was taken away. So I realized people need to be educated. So besides rehab, then we thought we need to start an education program. And as a separate license, was after you've been a rehabilitator for quite some time, you can get a license to educate. It's called a special purpose possession. And so now we actually have a facility on site at a school where we can teach children, hundreds of children every day, to be good stewards of the earth. And of course, all of you all by being here have demonstrated that you're good stewards of the earth as well. And after the oil spill happened, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife contacted me and asked if we could put our rehabbers into the oil spill facility. It's in Fort Jackson, and which may be moving to the North Shore soon. That's even more convenient. And then we had so many wonderful volunteers, and as some of you have said, we're going through, what was the word? Hamster wheel. The hamster wheel, volunteering. Have any of you experienced that? Yeah. So we thought, what wonderful human resources here that all of you are, and we're so grateful. So we thought, let's be a little creative in finding a way that all of you people who are so good-hearted and well-intentioned can really know how to help. And that's when we decided, at the urging initially of U.S. Fish and Wildlife, to start a training program to help people become first sub-permittees under Clearwater, so they could be eligible to help with the oil spill after a minimum of 3 months. Which is actually a short period of time, because most rehabilitators have to work 2 years before they can get licenses to work with the birds. So this is condensing because of the oil spill. But of course, we want everybody to know when they go to the oil spill, if that's what they wish to do, how to handle the species that are there for your safety and also for the safety of the birds that are there. As Clearwater, you could be what's called a sub-permittee. And sub-permittees after 3 months in training would be eligible to go to the oil spill. I'm no longer staffing the oil spill, but I'm training people that who can apply to go and work there. So that's kind of how we fit into all of this. At the beginning of the spill, Jeff and I realized that we needed to have more work together to address the problems that, not just at the oil spill, but native Louisiana wildlife in general. And of course, Bo's been working with us for years too, and doing his own independent work with the Rehab Association. So it seemed like a good trio to come together and bring more awareness. Are there any questions, just briefly? I don't want to cut into Bo's presentation because he's going to give you a lot of detail, but just in general, anything before I hand the mic back over. Yes.
3-month period for the sub-permit. A lot of this work, so is that something that's full-time or something that can be done on the weekend or in the evening?
Very good question. We've actually started the first training session, and it's a pilot program. And it is 3 months, but it's only twice a week, and it's about anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day on those 2 days a week. And that's about the minimum to be able to give you what you need to know. And after you see what Bo has to offer here, you'll realize there's a lot involved in just being a sub-permittee. And that is, and when you're a sub-permittee, you'll be eligible to be a permittee and apply yourself to the state. So you'll want to get as much training as you can. But in that it's just 3 months, there'll be some book learning and classes and seminars, but there's also a lot of hands-on. And that's why we're going to just have to go through systematically about 20 at a time through this 3-month session and then start another one. We at this point realize with all of you, the hearts waiting, we can't wait 3 months to start the next one. We'll just have to find it within ourselves to make sure we start sooner. So more of you can come through this process if you wish. But if that's about the minimum amount of time to be able to get you all the knowledge you need to have about zoonotic disease, to get your hazmat training, and to actually handle animals and feel comfortable with handling animals. Pelicans are almost, white pelicans are almost as tall as I am. They're big birds, and that's mainly what you see at this bill.
What time are the training sessions?
Well, right now we're doing them on Fridays and Saturdays for the mandatory. 2 to 5 and 9 to 12 on Saturdays, and then it's a flex schedule for your internship. The hands-on training will be interns, and so that can be flexible. You'll need to be shadowing our other sub-permittees.